How the hell you doing, Brainiacs? Long Island Iced Tea here, ready to talk Pro-Graps with you! A week after the biggest week in the sport, and we're reeling, we're rocking, we're trying to collect our thoughts and see what path we're going on to the road to next WrestleMania. I don't know where to begin. I've put some things down here on paper, Brainiacs, to keep me in order, but I don't think this is enough. You know me. I could go all over, because I also went to Ring of Honor tapings the week after, and I'm ready to talk all about that. But then we got WrestleMania follow, and we got Impact Wrestling, and everybody's on Reddit going saying it's the greatest next up-and-coming indie. I don't know where to begin, thank goodness. Jumpin' Jacob J's here today, Brainiacs. Thank goodness a man called Wired's here today to help me straighten things out, because if it might end up being like a 5-hour show. It might be longer than WrestleMania Triple J, and I don't think anybody wants that. We're all in a ruche.
I don't see how it could possibly be longer than WrestleMania. And you are right. We got a lot of WrestleMania fallout coming here, but I think this week, we want to focus on. It's very rare for us, we want to focus on the show. And again, coming up on another Brainbuster Radio anniversary, Long Island. Correct? We started this program after WrestleMania 28, I believe.
It's true. Yeah. WrestleMania 28, 7 years ago, Triple J. Brainbuster Radio entering into its 8th year of Pro-Graps talking. And I'm feeling revitalized. It feels new again because we've got new matchups. We're shaking things up.
Yeah, we are shaking things up. And, let's just go around the horn right now. We were each going to either physically or mentally write 3 things down that that we thought were the biggest issues coming out of WrestleMania. So let's look for like items, and perhaps we'll start there. Wired, what do you have first?
Fuck them. Doctor No Calzonis is here as well. Sorry,
he's finally here. So Triple J, explain me this. So we're just talking about 3 things that came out of WrestleMania that we are questioning now.
Yeah, just talk about 3 things from WrestleMania or even the night after that you would like to discuss, and we'll say all 3.
Okay, I think the Undertaker needs to find a new travel booker because he missed WrestleMania by one night.
Oh, you think he missed it, or I've heard he just didn't go on purpose. He is such a good guy. The Undertaker's such a good guy. He loves the fans. He didn't want to have to put us through another hour of his entrance, which would have had us at WrestleMania almost 8 hours.
No, I think someone misbooked his flight, and he was supposed to be at WrestleMania, and for whatever reason, delays. Maybe he was on one of those 737 MAX jets or whatever it is that they had to cancel his flight and put him on another one. But I feel like he was supposed to be at WrestleMania.
Well, you know that Vin Man, if he were here and not on limited dates, would tell you the Undertaker doesn't fly. The Undertaker can teleport wherever he goes. So maybe his teleportation devices was down. Maybe the urn wasn't working. I don't know. But the Undertaker showing up as the dead man that Elias said was going to be the next person to come out. I think that speaks more to Elias's powers to fortune tell, Triple J, than it does about the Undertaker.
You think, or remote viewing, perhaps?
Well, if that's the case, you would have thought he'd been better prepared for that rap battle with John Thug Life Cena at WrestleMania.
He probably. I don't think he was preparing. He's probably just hoping that wouldn't happen. But you're right. He didn't. He did look kind of shocked. We all were shocked that the Doctor of Thugonomics came out. But it's the thing is, even if you're a master of it, the phenomenon known as remote viewing, Triple J will tell you, it's a difficult thing to pin down and master.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I'll tell you the thing that's, you guys know me. I'm picky about almost every aspect of my life. I just don't like that the Undertaker was not at WrestleMania, and we can't keep the Undertaker appearance streak alive. That's just what I don't like.
First WrestleMania since WrestleMania 2000 that the Undertaker was not at WrestleMania. That is a fact.
That's just what I didn't like.
WrestleMania 17, the Undertaker returned. Triple H. WrestleMania 18, the Undertaker was there taking on. Was that when he took on like
Flair?
2 guys?
No, 19 was Flair, wasn't it? It was
18 was Flair.
Nathan Jones, and
that was 19. 18 was Flair. Yeah, Nathan.
I thought 19 was Giant Gonzalez.
No, that's 9.
You're only off by a decade.
Yeah, and then you got 20, The Undertaker and his brother Kane. 21, Randy Orton. 22, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. 23, The Undertaker took on... Ooh, who did The Undertaker take on at 23? Oh, Batista for the championship.
Are we really going through all these?
24, Edge. 25, Shawn Michaels. 26, Shawn Michaels. 27, Triple H. 28, Triple H. 29, CM Punk. 30, streak ends against Brock Lesnar. 31, The Undertaker took on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt. 32, Shane McMahon. 33, retired by Roman Reigns. 34, John Cena. And now 35, The Undertaker. Nowhere to be found on WrestleMania. A shocker. Maybe the most shocking thing of WrestleMania, Triple J, that The Undertaker just showed up on Raw. So does that mean The Undertaker, was that just a one-night Raw show up and never come back? Or what the hell was that? Is he? I just can't understand. Is this guy retired or not?
I mean, he's worked. This past WrestleMania year, he's probably worked the most dates he has in a while. With all those Melbourne, Saudi Arabia shows, but no WrestleMania.
And we've got more Arabian Nights coming up, and I assume the Crown Prince, Wired, is going to want The Undertaker there.
I want The Undertaker.
Bring me Undertaker, bro. Bring me Undertaker.
You think he's actually, you think the Crown Prince actually is that big of a fan that he knows what the real Undertaker looks like versus the fake Undertaker? I think this is where you can get away with it.
So you think we're going to start seeing fake Undertaker at the Saudi Arabia?
This is like when you would have, this is like in Mexico back in the early 90s, when you would advertise like, whoever, and then it would just be somebody else under that mask, and they'd be at like 7 different locations that same day.
So El Santo would be
El Santo would be
all the different Mexican states, and in some states he'd be a cruiserweight, and others he'd be a heavyweight, and he'd be real vascular at some. I'd love to see the Saudi shows end up being Triple J, just all knockoff versions of WWE superstars. That would be classic.
What a rib that would be.
One time the Saudi prince wanted Owen, but Owen didn't want to fly there, so we got a double J, Jeff Jarrett put him in a pink and black singlet, and that was Owen.
So that's an interesting transition, because that's my next thing actually on my list if I can. Where the hell is the security for WrestleMania weekend? Where are they? Did they take the vacation? Are they out on the beaches before? Everyone's out on a beach touring, beautiful islands right now because WrestleMania is over. It looks like security went on their vacations a couple days early.
Not just WWE.
The security has been lax in WWE for a number of months now, but I'm assuming you're, talking mostly about G1 Supercard. Is that correct?
Yeah, G1.
G1 Supercard. You have the Hall of Fame. I mean, it was an interesting night for the lack of institutional control by pro wrestling this past weekend.
That's kind of a super pose down question, but we're in a rush today, so we're not going to have a formal pose down, but I'll ask the question. Worst security, Ring of Honor security or at Madison Square Garden, or the WWE security at the Hall of Fame?
I think you got to go Hall of Fame in there. You've got a Hall of Famer in the ring. You've got a legend, one of the best of all the times. You can't let that happen.
And if you watch the Hall of Fame speech, Bret Hart recovered just the most professional recovery I've ever seen, and one of the great Hall of Fame speeches.
Yeah, it was a great speech, but I mean, overshadowed by what happened by some man in a Rasta hat. Look, I've long, and for obvious reasons, I say never trust a man in a Rasta hat, and there's a perfect example as to why. But also Ring of Honor. Can't believe I was in the same building as that man. That's twice now that he's tried to ruin events. I was at Survivor Series when he tried to take over with his little gimmick rap battle, and now at the Garden. I mean, these are iconic venues too. Wrestling fans, if you don't want to see Enzo Amore, don't go watch wrestling at a good iconic venue.
Yeah, Wired, you are talking about Enzo, real one, still certified. You're right. That security was just very, very poor. Just people standing around looking at each other. I mean, Bully Ray, he was doing a better job than anybody else.
If Bully Ray's your security, you got issues.
Although he will handle it the right way if you give him the power.
Yeah,
and then he'll get drunk on that power and he'll start taking down the company.
Yeah, exactly. Some say he's a cancer to the company.
ROHWrestling.com.
The security issues were kind of a black mark on a great weekend, a great week, but there were way more positives that outweigh those negatives. I think even the confusion of whether or not the Undertaker is retired or what the hell he's doing interrupting rock and roll shows. Who knows? Maybe Fred Durst sent him Triple J. I don't know. He is good friends with Limp Bizkit and Kid Rock, so maybe he's trying to steal Elias' spotlight that way. That's a question for another time. One thing we don't need to worry about is who's going to challenge the man for those double belts. We know who's going to face her because only one woman had enough guts to go out there and issue pretty much, I would say, a formal challenge to Becky Lynch, the double champ.
It's her right. It's her
women's right.
It's her women's right for that challenge. Triple J, if you weren't a fan of this modern day miracle in Lacey Evans, tell me you are now.
Well, no, I've always been a fan of her. I've just never, lusted or salivated over her like you, But yeah, this is going to be the man versus the lady coming up here. I mean, we saw her, Long Island. You mentioned to me last night during that Ring of Honor taping about, it's very difficult for women to fight in high heels. Lacey Evans did it extremely well.
She did
on Monday night.
She did, but I'm going to say she threw that women's right. The second one she landed on SmackDown landed better and knocked Becky Lynch down. The first one she hit on Raw, she was in those heels. I don't think she generated enough power behind it. Becky Lynch took that punch really well, which if you just going by that, she rolled with it pretty well. But going by that, I think Becky Lynch is suited to take on Lacey Evans because she's got the tough chin and the cheekbones. This is going to be really interesting because even the Velveteen Dream is out there on Twitter, salting a social media man called Wired, saying Lacey Evans is going to take everyone's money because we're going to be watching and paying to see her so much because she is that good. But she's going right up. She's not making it easy on herself going right after the man. She could have challenged someone else to dip her toe into the main roster waters, but the lady doesn't play that.
No, here's how I see this, Long Island. This Lacey Evans has been coming out, making appearances on Raw, SmackDown, WrestleMania, pay-per-views everywhere, and no one has stepped up to her. No one came up to her. She offered someone to take a swipe at Lacey Evans, and no one decided to. So what did Lacey Evans do? She decided to take matters into her own hand, go after the man, and make a statement. And she made two statements, really, this past week with her right hand. I mean, and so did I.
I'd say her statement was the second biggest of the week, next to Charlotte on social media from the islands recuperating. Charlotte, I think Charlotte is in line for a championship rematch, I'd say, for that SmackDown title. She's in line for a shot at the Raw title as well. She wasn't pinned or submitted at WrestleMania, Triple J. So what do you think about Lacey Evans skipping ahead of Charlotte in line? It seems like by social media, Charlotte, she's kind of just taking some time off after, putting this division on her back and getting it to the main event. She deserves that, but I think as soon as she's back, she deserves a shot at Lacey or Becky.
Yeah, in the islands, just wearing basketball jerseys and probably nothing else underneath them. Listen, here's what I'll say about that. If Charlotte wants to challenge for the title, then challenge for the title. You can't do that on a boat in the Caribbean.
I'll tell you what she can be doing on the boat.
But she's clearly earned it.
She's earned it. I mean, she should be able to take a week off or a weekend off.
I'm fine with that, but
get some chon on a boat and then come back and get right back into it.
That's fine, but don't come back complaining about it if you weren't there the week before. Whenever things are progressing and matches are being made,
things are getting shaken up. Who knows?
Well, she's definitely.
Charlotte could come back and she'll be on Raw. Things could change this week. We got the shakeup coming. Wired.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the shakeup's always an interesting time of year. We don't really understand the rules or what the thoughts are behind it, but we do know that with some new eyeballs going to be on SmackDown Live come this fall, you're definitely going to think that the WWE is preparing for the best possible show, as if it wasn't already in SmackDown Live. But guys, if I can give my third one, if it's more of a question because I'm very confused. If that's okay, is that something I can do right now?
That's natural for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'm really, the biggest question I felt that came out of WrestleMania, and to be 100% honest, I don't think we're ever going to know the answer to this because it actually was quite doubtful. Is who actually sings Batista songs? Because my understanding, it's fucking Pantera.
It's Pantera. Is who it is.
I mean, everyone in our section seemed to believe it was Pantera.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to state that for the record?
We'll state for the incorrect record. We'll say it might be Saliva. It might be Jim Johnston in a house band to others, but to us, it's always fucking Pantera, bro.
I just want to keep the fans happy and say it's Pantera. Let's not tell them there's no Tooth Fairy.
Brainiacs, if you're gonna be at a WrestleMania and you're walking up and down the aisle and you're jamming to Batista's theme hard, like Xavier Woods or Tyler Breeze, and you run into the Brainbusters and you see us and you want to fist bump us and you want to tell us fuck yeah Pantera during Batista's theme, we're gonna fist bump you. Because fuck yeah, Pantera. Even if it's not related to what's going on whatsoever, I will always fist bump a Pantera, Brainiacs.
I don't know. Oh, God. I feel like this man knows something that we don't. Like, he was so sure of himself.
I don't think so.
I think there's just something that we're missing because he's on the end.
Well, actually, it is sung by... hi, I'm Eddie Trunk. Thank you for letting me on the show, guys. Pantera is not they don't do Batista's theme, but Vinnie Paul did play drums, Triple J, so they do get a credit as a band, and that's why your friend came up to you and told you fuck yeah Pantera. So watch that metal show on VH1 Classic. Thanks.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Long Al, what 3 things do you have? Maybe we can cross some off my list then.
My 3 things from WrestleMania. First off, Roosh is a fucking star.
He was in a Roosh this weekend.
Roosh is a fucking star. He doesn't care if he's at Madison Square Garden. He's not getting paid by the hour. He's gonna win quickly. He's gonna beat the shit out of someone. He's gonna call them a bunch of really awful things in Espanol, which I've turned the doctor's mic off because ever since G1 Supercard, the doctor is in love with Roosh and has been talking like him constantly, Wired, and we can't let that kind of thing on the air.
G1
as much as I love Roosh.
Now Roosh is under ROH, I believe, right? He's not as
Roosh is a Ring of Honor talent. Right? Roosh is
Did he appear last night in the city of Pittsburgh?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
And did you get to actually see him, or did he just kind of like run out, come in, and leave?
Oh, did we see Roosh? I'll have more on our interactions with Roosh at the TV tapings later on. But let's just say Roosh was involved in the best match of the night. I think Triple J will agree with me on that. Yeah,
he was.
And he's a fucking star. When you don't even really know the language of the country you're performing in that well, and everybody in a building so far from your home is cheering your name while you're in the ring with legitimate stars, that says something. So Roosh stood out to me as pretty much the biggest star of the weekend, WWE, New Japan, or Ring of Honor. So that's number 1 for me. Another one is, I can't believe what we're getting here. What is going to happen between the Bar and the New Day? This was one of the great rivalries, and this is becoming one of the legendary rivalries now that it has now ascended to the WWE title heavens, with Kofi having that belt, the Bar getting involved with them. They were I thought there was some respect there from their feuds as tag teams, Triple J, but now the Bar shows there is no respect. They were the last people I expected to mess with Kofi and his world championship celebration.
Really, I mean, I think the Bars, they're known to be dastardly. I wasn't that surprised by it.
I don't know. I thought they were going to stick to the tag division, but I don't know what's going to happen. Is Sheamus going to challenge Kofi? Is Is it going to be Cesaro? Drew McIntyre was hanging out with them on SmackDown, although he mysteriously disappeared in the middle of that match, and you did not see him at all on television. I don't know what happened, if his shoe got caught under the table or something. The Bar, is one of them going to challenge for Kofi? Basically what I'm saying is, who challenges Kofi next?
Yeah, is that your number 3 or is that your number 2?
I would say that's my number 2.
Who brought up Lacey Evans?
Didn't you?
No, I did not, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to function the rest of the show.
You brought up Lacey. Okay, well, let me interject with your number 2 with my number 1 right now. I want to talk about Kofi Kingston just sustaining this momentum.
Kofi Mania.
Yeah, can Kofi Mania? Are we going to have Kofi in the bank? Can we have Kofi series? Kofi Slam. Is this going to last? Because everybody knows.
I hope not.
Traditional booking, you chase the title, and that's when the fans are on their feet hooting and hollering. But once you get the title, there are some runs like Finn Balor and NXT, Shawn Michaels after WrestleMania 12 that
hello,
that perk up to me.
Yeah, Wired.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Moose. Triple J, is Moose sitting with you?
No, Moose is not here. I just want to know, and this is why I talked. About
you spend 1 weekend in that man's apartment. Thank you, by the way, to Moose to Mark and Myth Spend Forever for hosting a great festival in NXT. By the way, New York, first one ever. Triple J, what are you talking about? What? Who cares? The man has to defend his title. What are you talking about? Whether it's a chase or not? He's worked how many years for this, Long Island?
11 years, Triple J.
Look, I'm sitting here and defending a man that I usually don't defend for obvious reasons, and here he is. He is champion. He earned it, and he also won it on his own.
And he also put it on the line the night after the biggest win of his career.
And now friends of the show, in quotation marks, ruined that for everyone. We'll get to that at some point. And you're going to sit here and say, but now can he hold it? Because now he's not chasing it. Are you kidding me? The man has been chasing for something for 11 years. You wouldn't hold on to something? Think about that pair of socks.
The crowd is behind them as much as they were whenever Ali got an injury and Kofi Kingston was in.
Are you insane?
The New Day star ratings for all the matches.
The New Day have been.
I'll say Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston's match at WrestleMania by far the best match on that card for my money.
I'd say the best match at WrestleMania since Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. I'd put it up there.
Yeah, I would say that.
I would put it.
I wouldn't say
right
past
there.
it, but I would put it up there. You're right.
It's up there as one of my all-time favorites. But Kofi Kingston and the New Day, Triple J, have had this momentum ever since they got together. They've been on. They've
had momentum, but
they've
not
been
type of momentum.
3 of the most popular superstars in the history of wrestling. And now Kofi is beating 11 guys on the same night, and with 11 years under his belt, he's finally got the championship. The momentum is going nowhere. Kofi Kingston's going nowhere. The only question is, who's stepping up? Who actually could beat Kofi Kingston is my question, because Kofi Kingston can beat like 8 guys in one night. He is by far the best wrestler in the world right now.
Gloat about it. I'm going to put it out there. He can wrestle for an hour. He can beat 8 guys in one night. He can do it all. And here you are, Triple H, saying, "Oh my God, he can't chase it. He's not chasing it anymore, so he doesn't want it." Are you kidding me?
This might be the greatest month any wrestler's ever had with the amount of people Kofi Kingston's beat. He's beaten the amount of guys you would have to beat in 2 G1 climaxes, and he's doing it all in like 2 nights. I mean,
that's a lot of guy.
That's a lot of guy.
A lot of guy.
G1 climax.
Well,
hey, he's not chasing it. He's not chasing it. So.
I'm almost ready to almost claim him as the greatest WWE champion of all time, Triple J.
After one defense that was interrupted through interference, you're going to appoint him.
He had arguably the greatest WWE title match at a WrestleMania and won the championship. It's the only championship match I've ever watched where literal tears came out of my eye afterwards. And he defended it the next night. It was ruined by friends of the show, The Bar. And
great party.
And leading up to the championship, he beat every single superstar already. So there is no one on the roster that he hasn't beaten. I mean, who is there? Who? Kofi. They maybe should just retire the championship and put a statue of Kofi at Access next year. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Triple J.
I really need Vin Man here to back me up, or even Moose to Mark next time.
Oh, that's great. That is something I hope to strive for and say one day. I need Boost the Mark to back me up on this. Oh,
I don't know what the hell's going on, Brainiacs. Wrestlemania, tweet or read it, tout it, shout it, be all about it. At the Brainbusters, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, because all of a sudden, all the Brainbusters are turning into each other, and I'm just sitting here just being Long Island. You've got Triple J, he's saying things like Moose the Mark, he's eating ice cream like he's a man called Wired. You've got Dr. Mil Calzones, who's licking Triple J's bunghole so hard that he's turning into him. You've got Moose the Mark out here who's trying to be Vin Man and never showing up. I mean, I don't know what's what anymore. All I know is that I'm here, the New Day's here, and we're still here winning. And we've got all the momentum. We're going nowhere.
And Long Island, don't forget, Vin Man is popping hard for ROH and NXT nowadays.
Yes, and now
it is an alternative universe. Yeah. It is the Brainbuster Radio after WrestleMania. You cheer who you normally boo. You boo who you normally cheer. This is
they're having fun, Michael. Vin Man's texting me. The guys at ROH and NXT are way better than anybody in WWE.
And Wired doesn't want to bring this up, but I mean, he's almost turning into me. I got an ace, up my sleeve that I can pull out at any time, because whenever I was cleaning that apartment, actually, I've said too much already right now.
I've heard this though. I've heard Triple J for your, but Triple J, raise your hand if you had the most amount of ice cream this past weekend in New York City.
I think it was me.
Yes, it was Triple J.
I think I'm due.
You had as much.
Ice cream spanning to 3 states.
Triple J had as much ice cream as I had whiskey this weekend. I mean, he
had ice cream in the tri-state.
You've got issues.
Tri-state area.
I'll tell you what, Brainiacs, if you haven't gone to WrestleMania, you need to go, because man, next year is going to be so good. You guys are going to have so much fun.
What do you mean, you guys? You mean us? We are going to have so much fun.
Yeah, Long Island, what's your number 3?
Number 3 so we get the headlines.
Oh, my number 3. I mean, it has to be, who's the realest tag team in the world? Because the Usos finally had their due at WrestleMania and got their moment in the sun, winning a big match. Really good match. Mm-hmm. Great makeup for last year's debacle for the Usos in that tag team title match. But then the night before, you had the Gorillas of Destiny coming out at Madison Square Garden. Pretty much the realest, I think they're the realest pair of teammates to ever come out at MSG, and that includes John Starks and Patrick Ewing. That includes any other tag team that's ever been there, including their father, Haku, and Andre the Giant. And then you've got, Triple J, we saw the Briscoes last night at Ring of Honor, and we've seen them on social media. I mean, tag wrestling right now is better than ever. All Elite Wrestling says tag wrestling should be main eventing shows, and I have to agree, because I don't think tag team wrestling's ever been better than it has been coming out of WrestleMania. I just have to say that tag team wrestling is on fire, Maggle. Does nobody agree?
Of course I agree. I think Long Island knows that. I was waiting for Wired to say something.
It was an incredible weekend for tag team wrestling. We saw some of the greatest tag team action, if you really think about it. But yeah, I would give my right sock to see the Gorillas of Destiny take on the Usos at some point this summer.
Oh, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon.
I think the Briscoes are going to have to try to leave the country. Can somebody smuggle the Briscoes out of the country?
That's the more pressing question, and that's one we'll ask, and along with some other things coming out in the news this week, because it is time for Brainbuster Radio Headline. This week on Brainbuster Radio Headlines, a WWE superstar is not happy that she lost her tag team championship. Long Island has an emotional moment at Ring of Honor television tapings. And when and where will the biggest tag team match of the year happen? This week, Brainbuster Radio Headlines is brought to you by Marburger Security. Marburger Security. We will never let insane maniacs tackle your Hall of Famers during their induction ceremonies, nor will we allow loser tag teams to ruin the moment of legitimate tag teams at the biggest show in your company's history. Marburger Security. Call us right now if you're a wrestling company, a musical act, or you need some security for a wedding at 1-800-Marburger Security. Apparently better than Atlas Security, I hear, Triple J, which is a high rating. Let's start here. Sasha Banks has unfollowed the WWE on social media. She has now followed All Elite Wrestling social media accounts. Her husband posted a cryptic message about doing what you love and doing what is right financially and such. And there's also rumors that Bayley and Sasha Banks kind of threw tantrums after losing their tag team championships at WrestleMania to the Iconics. What's going on here? You got Rusev out tweeting, calling Sasha Banks the botch master, a man called Wired. What's the situation?
Long Island, although this is an alternative show for us, I am still the sultan of social media, and I will tell you this, and I will tell you that. Do not go to social media to try to understand a confrontation or understand a conflict or try to settle something like this. This is absurd and is
the world.
Yeah, it is. It is not the place to do this. I take social media breaks about every 20 minutes or so because I have to go to the bathroom. It happens. You don't have to.
Well. Is this social media is an extension of the WWE universe as far as I'm concerned? So is this
a billion person extension?
Is this similar to Becky Lynch and how she galvanized her fans to get her into the wedged into the main event of WrestleMania? Is this Sasha Banks? Is this Bayley? Is this Becky Lynch? You didn't even
mention the fact that
working this thing to get Sasha Banks maybe into a big moment with Becky Lynch possibly and get more steam in the women's division. This could be part of that too.
Long Island, Sasha Banks is a the biggest problem with Sasha Banks is that she can work but can't work with those who can't work, if that makes sense, right? As soon as you put her in the ring with someone who isn't to her skill level, she has problems, and that's why she's been avoiding Alexa Bliss for whatever reason. That's why she unfollowed Vince McMahon. She doesn't want. She's trying to put this narrative that she's the real thing, that she wants more like competition. Give her what she wants. I guess we're still keeping that motto even past WrestleMania. Bayley needs to be careful to associate herself with someone like this for obvious reasons. And Bayley on Monday Night Raw took a loss, took an L to Alexa Bliss, maybe distracted by what her quote unquote best friend has flooded her mind with.
Well, I think she lost because Alexa Bliss is just a very good wrestler who's had a lot of time to recover. I think Triple J will agree with that. But Sasha Banks, I mean, Rusev called her the botch master. Triple J.
Why?
What does that mean?
This is just all dirt sheet rumor and innuendo here.
Well, that happened.
This happened. Rusev tweeted, Botchmaster is not happy.
Okay, well, every once in a while, I call Wired a son of a bitch. I still like the guy.
You do? When does that happen?
I mean, they're all friends. I don't think
they're all friends. I refuse to believe they're not getting along. It's Sasha Banks is unhappy.
They're all friends.
Well,
they're all going out to dinner together, laughing about this.
In my universe, you would have to be absolutely batshit insane to leave the WWE as a women's wrestler, because that is where all the money is. Literally, the main event of WrestleMania just happened, and that's the biggest payday. If you are going to leave, and I know that there are other companies out there that are going to get rumored great TV deals, and they're going to have solid women's divisions as well, but nothing compares in wrestling to the women's division of the WWE right now, and if to leave that would be insane. So I'm hoping, Wired, that this is a kind of the Becky Lynch tactic that Sasha Banks is putting in here, and Becky getting involved on Twitter as well here kind of maybe shows that it might be that, but you do have Lacey Evans in the way if you're Sasha Banks. Cannot wait to see what happens, but if she really is pouting, and the instant reactions to this has been kind of sad to see, because I don't want people out there calling Sasha Banks a crybaby or an idiot or whatever, because we don't know the facts yet.
Kicker.
You don't want to look like a big old Moose the Mark, and I'm just gonna say, if you see Sasha Banks saying something on Twitter, or you hear a rumor on the board, you don't go ahead and formulate your opinion just yet. You gotta wait and see. But I would say it's insane to think Sasha Banks would leave WWE. To me, I can't fathom it. I hope it doesn't happen.
She's not going anywhere.
Do you think Sasha Banks was walking through, the streets of New York kicking trash in disappointment? Kicking.
I would be. She lost her championships, and it sounds like she's not getting a championship rematch because the shakeup. Who knows? Her and Bayley might get split up, but also the Iconics are out here beating legendary teams like the Brooklyn Bells, and all of a sudden Paige has got a surprise up her sleeve for the Iconics. Triple J, who could it be? Who do you think Paige is going to bring to SmackDown Live?
Kelly Klein.
Paige,
who's Paige got?
Probably some Brits. Maybe Killer.
Do you think it could be Tony Storm and Piper Niven?
It could.
Oh my!
I mean, you have the UK Women's Champion. Seems to be, she has her hands full with what's going on in the UK right now. This one's baffled me because I have no idea. There are no other tag teams. I mean, if you think about it, that Paige can bring on that we haven't seen, unless it's somebody that we've seen.
One half of tag teams now that Long Island, I'm going to step on your toes a little bit here. Nia Jax is going to be out of action.
Big Island Express
is done. You would think Beth Phoenix, that was just a one-off for WrestleMania, so I would put Pinup Strong out of it. And Sasha was not on Raw, so you can make teams. Dana Brooke and Alicia Fox would be formidable opponents. I think.
But this had the feel of somebody big that's already been together for a long time. I mean, Paige was sure this isn't something that she would put her reputation on. Just two randos that she's putting together. For television.
You think it could be the Sky Pirates?
Oh, that's a good one.
It could.
The Sky Pirates both of them lost at NXT Takeover. They go to the back of the line.
Actually, you know what?
there.
I think it is. I think it's the Sky Pirates.
Your money's on the Sky Pirates. Oh my God! You want to talk about the Briscoes and G.o.D? The only thing that might be better than that is the Iconics and the Sky Pirates. Triple J. This has money written all over it. If that's happening.
Yeah, that's. I'd like to see it. I don't know. Maybe Paige is going to get the band back together with Absolution. Have Mandy and Sonya go together.
Oh yeah,
I think they would be a formidable team.
They could have reconciled over donuts. We'll see. The Superstar Shakeup is coming. I'm excited for the women's tag division. Lots of possibilities. We'll see what happens with Sasha Banks. Don't get your panties in a bunch about that. I do have my panties in a bunch, though, because at Ring of Honor television tapings in Pittsburgh Wired, Long Island Iced Tea was chanting so hard, being a great member of the audience, front row, cheering for the good guys, booing the bad guys. And I was doing it so well that even some of the wrestlers were getting into it and fist bumping Triple J and I, giving us high fives. And even one of them threw me his shirt, specifically threw it right to me. And I caught
whose shirt?
Who?
Yeah, who?
None other than the soaked, beautiful, musk-smelling shirt of Roosh. Right in my hands.
and Wired, let me tell you, my
Long
dear,
Island has new Huggies.
My dear, long-time good friend, Long Island Iced Tea, he caught this shirt. He took a big sniff of it to get that aroma in his nostrils.
All I wanted to do was smell Roosh, and I got way more than I bargained for.
And he was just so happy about it. And then I noticed him. He looked to his right. There was a small girl, maybe the age of, what would you say, 7, 8, or 9 or something, just, looking at him all glassy-eyed, and he said, "Hey, kid, catch." And he gave this young girl the shirt. It's something she's going to remember for her entire life. The father was very proud. So Long Island, I just like to say thank you for that.
Don't mention it.
You're a jam-up guy, and I'm glad to have you as a Brainbuster.
Well, that's not about me. It's just about it's about just putting a smile on the little Rooshers' faces out there. I've got plenty of wrestling T-shirts. I've got the sweat of Roosh all over me already. So I figured, what the hell? Let's spread the good word of Roosh, and invisible airwaves echo with life. Triple J. That's all I can say.
Long Island, Long Island, was this your Coca-Cola classic Mean Joe Green moment? Is this what this was?
Yeah, it was a double one though, because Roosh Mean Joe'd me, and then I Mean Joe'd a little girl.
Oh man, what a moment, Long Island. I think though, I mean, to be 100% honest, you probably gave that shirt away because you knew Miss Melissa was not going to allow that thing in your household.
No, she was very mad that I gave it away and didn't bring it home to sell it on eBay.
Oh, to pay for the wedding. That makes sense.
Yes,
I get it.
You're right. You probably could have invited 3 more people if you brought that shirt home.
Well, yeah, Roosh was incredible, throwing his shirt to fans. Everybody was rooting for him. 6-man tag team action is alive and well, Triple J. ROH has got a crazy good roster, but the rumor is they might have beefed it up with a tag team. Apparently, rumor is that Enzo and Kaz XL, who, were not a part of the show and got in a fist fight with the Briscoes at the G1 Supercard, have apparently signed a very ROH-friendly deal, multi-year deal with Ring of Honor. If that's true, what do you think of that signing?
If that's true, I think it's very odd you would be giving multi-year deals to these gentlemen. You're not going to see them on television, at least for the next 4 weeks. I don't know what's going to happen, but there is money to be made with Kaz XL and Enzo taking on, the Briscoes or whatever other tag teams are there. So that's the bottom line. But listen, you don't even. I mean, if you're talking a 2-year multi-year deal, sure, that sounds right. But you don't offer 5-year deals to even Jay Lethal. I don't think so. That doesn't seem right to me.
What is this going to be, though? Is it because Enzo and Kaz XL at the peak of their powers were, everybody loved them and chanted along, and they were a fun act that just instantly engaged with the crowd. No one likes them anymore, and I don't see anyone ever liking them. Do you?
Well, no, not really, but maybe that's. I mean,
how can they work? Can they work bad guy? Can they be dirty, rotten bastard heels and still do their shtick?
You can still do your shtick, but everybody's going to crap all over it. But hey, as long as the audience is loud, it doesn't really matter.
Go away, Heat. A Man Called Wired.
I don't give a shit about these two guys, so whatever.
That would be go away, Heat then.
Yeah, but would you pay to see them get their asses kicked?
No, I wouldn't even. No, look, I wouldn't pay for ROH shows in general, unless they're probably at Madison Square Garden going forward. But I don't know. What can these guys possibly offer that was not better than what was going on in WWE? We crowned Big Cass the next big thing in WWE, and he shot all over that.
Leader of the new era.
And look what happened. Enzo Amore was making cruiserweight wrestling exciting. Brought him to the main event of Monday Night Raw. And then look, he's a jackass. They're all jackasses. I don't give a shit. And I've seen this man be a jackass too much in public.
Okay,
before.
You won't pay for that, but will you pay to see the Briscoes take on God?
As long as I'm not near the Briscoes, I will pay to see the Briscoes versus God.
Oh, they're fine. We were pretty close to them last night.
No, you guys got to be. I would go get tested.
What Triple J?
I don't know what for.
The back and forth between the Briscoes and Gorillas of Destiny on social media has been, I think, the most entertaining thing since WrestleMania weekend. It's the match I'm most anticipating for the rest of 2019 if it happens. But if it's going to happen, when and where would it happen? Where can it happen? Are the Briscoes even allowed out of the country?
I almost think the best chances it has is, it's going to be somewhere in New Japan sponsored, somewhere outside the continental United States.
Could it happen at the World Tag League?
That boring tournament.
Maybe not.
Maybe see if the Sinclairs want to pay for international flight tickets for the Briscoes. If you're going to do that, you need to send like a handler or a chaperone with the Briscoes.
I will volunteer for that job. If no one else wants it, I think I could do it. I think I could get along with the Briscoes, and I got the diplomatic mindset and skills to maybe go to Japan with Mark and Jay, broker the deal with Ring of Honor and New Japan, and hang out with those guys and get into a different kind of trouble where they'll be able to make the match. Let's book it January 4th. I say it could be the main event of Wrestle Kingdom. Let's do this.
I just hope all three of you don't end up in a gulag somewhere.
I don't think we will. Mark, Jay, and I, we're just going to hang out in Roppongi, where you're allowed to do anything. So you can't get in trouble there. Oh man, there's coming out of WrestleMania weekend. I think we all can agree there's not a match that has been teased or alluded to or thought of that would be better than that. Triple J. That is the match of the year.
Yeah, it probably is right now. That's what we've got to look forward to.
I know that's what I'm looking forward to. All right, well, that's it for headlines. Other things, injuries. Those always come out of WrestleMania because, well, superstars battle through in pain and injuries to get to WrestleMania, and then afterwards, that's where some time gets taken off usually. Unfortunately, we've got some severe ones. Nia Jax's going to be out for a while. Couple of injuries, both ACLs, I believe, wired. Big E's got a major injury, probably out a while. Rumor is that AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan also suffered some kind of injury, but we don't know exactly how long they'll be out. I anticipate more injuries to be revealed or reported on soon. But the good thing is, Wired, WWE has a pretty beefy roster. They should be fine.
Yeah, this is actually probably not welcomed by the WWE, but not worried about by the WWE. There's some room there, even for a couple more if they had to. So they're good. WWE's good. The superstar shakeup's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see if Nia Jax and Big E and other superstars that are injured are going to be a part of the shakeup, or are they just going to let them sit in the shadows until they're ready to come back?
Well, we'll find out. The shakeup's coming, and it's pretty much impossible to predict. So I'm not going to try. Are you, Triple J?
No, not at all.
You, Wired?
Of course not. Who predicts?
Predicting is hard. We're not Elias, but we can say important things as we close up things here, Brainiacs, with Falls Count Anywhere.
Last week, I mentioned to you about whatever exactly the name of that John Oliver television program is, and his WWE episode, which I thought was actually pretty fair, and I recommended that for everyone to watch. This week, I would like to recommend to you The Dark Side of the Ring on the Viceland Network. Don't worry if you don't get it directly through your television and or cable provider. You can even watch some of them on YouTube or on the Viceland app or just on the Viceland website. This was very heavily promoted at WrestleMania through billboards, planes, and flyers on telephone poles. So the Brody episode is out, the Macho Man episode came out, and a new one is going to be dropping every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for at least a couple weeks. But there's also some things that we learned WrestleMania weekend that I'd just like to name a few right now. You do not want to sit next to someone that has an autoimmune disease at wrestling. You can tell if a person dries or hangs their t-shirts just by looking at them. Boys can make mistakes and they should be forgiven. And God dang, do you think we could get a ring count over 12 from the New Japan announcer? The board. Always use more charcoal than you think you should. Madison Square Garden, while they do have many concession stands and the lines are not very long, the food is just poor. And finally, I cannot wait till next year's WrestleMania. We will be selling the high seas. We will be under lock, stock, and barrel looking for booty because it is WrestleMania Pirate Flag.
Brainiacs, it is I, a man called Wired, and WrestleMania 35 is in the books. What a moment! What a career for a man called Wired. But regardless, you don't let marks take over. WrestleMania 34 in the Dome down in Louisiana. It was horrible. It was painful. It was hard to be there. And then WrestleMania 35. reminded me why I love this sport so much. Why? Because you don't want to sit somewhere where there's a roof over your head. You don't want to sit somewhere where there's seats over you. You want this open air feel. You want something to let the Mark's chants filter into the air so you can actually enjoy the match. Enjoy people chanting fucking Pantera. Enjoy the engagements that are happening around you. No beach balls, no waves, nothing of that sort. It's just WrestleMania. And next year, when the Brainbusters invade Tampa Bay and we're dressed like pirates, well, the Brainbusters are just like pirates. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait to see it on Instagram.
Oh, Brainiacs, I don't know what more we could say about this WrestleMania week and what more we could do other than the one thing we didn't get this WrestleMania weekend, particularly at Madison Square Garden. So in an effort to make up for it, right now on Falls Count Anywhere, I'm going to give you what you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Is that better, Triple J?
Yeah, it really needed to be said.
I really want to know what 20 sounds like.
I don't.
Get there.
Yeah, me neither. That'd be 20 would sound like, what, 18,000 screaming fans just booing and angry. Chanting 5 more minutes. That's what it would sound like, Walker.
5 more minutes.
Triple J, any reaction to the engagement that we saw? We didn't even talk about that. What a moment. What a time for that couple, right?
You're right. Just a good-looking guy and a good-looking gal in the city, just living out their dreams. It's going to be a hunk of burning love between those two.
Also, Triple J, don't forget, if you want to order pizza in the city, just say pepperoni. That's all you got to say.
Just they're. But even then, if it looks like pepperoni, it may not be pepperoni.
Buddy Murphy puts pineapple on his pizza. Ugh.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't do pineapple on pizza.
Gross. All right, Brainiacs. That's all we got this week. Tweet it, read it, tout it, shout it, be all about it at the Brainbusters on all social media gimmicks. A man called Wired's got them updated for you. Twitter, Instagram Junior, and Facebook, and of course, BrainbusterRadio.com, the Brainbuster Radio YouTube page. Subscribe to that. All episodes go there. Lots of fun. Hey, we might put some video up from WrestleMania that it's too hot for TV. Might even have Jerry Springer introduce some clips because it got very suggestive lyrics being played on the music at the tailgate, Triple J. There's a lot of stuff that we couldn't even talk about today.
Yeah, you're right. That's going to have to be for a separate episode.
Everybody fucks Brainiacs. All right, for a man called Wired, for Dr. Mil Calzones on the Unos and Doses, for the smell of Roosh, and for Jumpin' Jacob J, Vinman Unlimited Dates, Moose the Mark on the Internet Gimmicks, and Long Island Iced Tea. I'm Long Island Iced Tea saying, I gotta get the hell out of here and watch some Pro Graps.